We'll call to order the meeting for the Mayor and the Board of Aldermen for July 18th, 2003. Before we adopt the agenda, there are several additions and 2 deletions, so I'll ask you to, on the consent agenda, we'll request permission to approve a step raise for Employee and Development Services Building Department for the completion of the zoning certification exam. That is going to be item 7C, number 8. And then in 9A, we're going to consider a request for ICM to have the football lights at Oxford High School on until midnight to allow for work on the field. At 9B, we're going to appoint a member to the City of Oxford Municipal Reserve and Trust Committee. At 10A, we'll request permission to hire FC and E Engineering for modifications to the solid waste management plan, solid waste permit application for proposal of expansion, and evaluation of the site location for the purpose of new Class 1 facility. And then last, on 14A, we will consider a request for temporary closure of 1 block of Buchanan Avenue between South 11th Street and South Lamar during regular working hours for construction for a pedestrian refuge on South Lamar. And then I'll ask you to delete number 12 and number 7C6. With those additions and deletions, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda for the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Mayor's report, to let you know that our mayor is out of town. Today she is accompanying Ray to the Mississippi Bar Association meeting. We also have a heat advisory out until 8 p.m. tomorrow. Just please stay cool. If you need assistance, you can go to the fire stations or the police stations. And then we do have the updated tax information. So Ashley, I'll let you do that part.
Okay. Our sales tax that just came in at $1,163,527.27, which is down 7% from the previous month, but up 8.43% from the same time last year. Our 2% food and beverage tax came in at $419,298.25, which is down 14.22% from last month, but up 25.55% from last year. And our hotel motel came in at $61,224.93, which is down 8.8% from last month and also down 24.11% from last year.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll ask you if you authorize the minutes of the regular meeting on July 5th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Request permission to approve the amended minutes of the regular board meeting on January 17th, 2023 to correct information related to the surplus property.
So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Authorize the approval of the accounts for all city departments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ask that you consider the consent agenda.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Proclamation for the retirement of the Oxford Police Department K-9 Frankie. John?
All right. I hate that Frankie is not with us, but I hope he gets well. I'd like to read this resolution. Whereas Frankie has diligently served his handler, Officer William Hollowell, and the Oxford Police Department for over 8 years, and whereas Frankie began his service in 2015, he became certified in narcotics detection and obedience and apprehension with 2 nationally recognized associations, NNDA and AWD. With his training, he assisted the Oxford Police Department, Lafayette County Metro Narcotics Unit, Lafayette County Sheriff's Department, and other surrounding law enforcement agencies. And whereas Frankie has had over a dozen successful trackings that have led to felony apprehensions in 4 counties. He has helped seize money from criminal organizations, tracked a wanted convict that escaped from prison, has assisted in dozens of stolen guns, and an estimated 1,500 pounds of illegal drugs off the streets while assisting on vehicle stops. And whereas Frankie has made a mark on the City of Oxford Police Department and the entire Oxford community with his dedicated service that will be remembered for years to come. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Oxford express their sincere appreciation and gratitude to K9 Frankie on his work on behalf of the Oxford Police Department and the city of Oxford. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the city of Oxford, and the copy of the same be presented to Officer Will Hollowell on this 18th day of July, 2023.
Thank you. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I ask that you request permission to approve an intent resolution for a general obligation note in the amount not to exceed $2.3 million for the purchase of equipment and other proposed, and to authorize the mayor to sign an engagement letter with Butler Snow for the same. Sue?
Mayor Pro Tem, before we get too far, can we get a motion on that previous item?
Thank
Motion
you.
made.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Sue?
Thank you. So what we're asking for today is approval of a resolution that would authorize the sale and issuance of a general obligation note in the amount not to exceed $2.3 million. This is a 5-year note, and the proceeds would be used primarily to purchase heavy equipment. This resolution also authorizes Butler Snow and government consultants to publish the notice of sale and solicit proposals. We would come back at your August 15th meeting and open bids and present those bids to you, and then close about late August is what we're thinking.
Okay. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 9A, which is consider a request for ICM to have football field lights at Oxford High School on until midnight to allow for work on the field. Mark?
This is the last minute request that came in, and I put this memo at each one of your stations, but it kind of outlines the request. They're making this request on behalf of the turf contractor who is changing out the turf at the Oxford field. They would like to work at nights and weekends. Typically, the building code allows work between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. Can you say it? Okay. So they want to work till midnight, and they also want to have the ability to work on Sundays. The request is, I believe, through July 31st. So I'm just looking for some direction on that, and happy to take that back to them, and we could put whatever stipulations y'all want to put on it. Or
Talking to the neighbors, I really think midnight's a little late to have the lights on all around the houses that are so close. Everybody didn't really have a problem with 10, but every one of them over there said, midnight was a little late. They haven't heard any commotion over there. They're not hearing anything. But
Okay.
And also the memo says 7/12. Have they already been doing it?
I think that's when he must have
Okay.
written this on the 12th. And on Sundays as well? You think so? Okay.
Anybody else?
So you're good with 10 o'clock on
10
Sunday
o'clock,
night?
neighbors were fine with 10. They didn't really think they'd have any issues. They just thought midnight was good.
So 10 o'clock and Sundays work?
And Sunday's fine. Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Thank you.
opposed? Thank you. 9B, which is to appoint a member to the City of Oxford Municipal Reserve and Trust Committee. We're asking that you appoint Ann Langley to that member.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Request permission to approve and authorize the mayor to sign a auction agreement with J.M. Wood Auction Company for the sale of equipment in the Environmental Services Department. Ashley?
Yes, Amerlin couldn't be with us, so I'm gonna handle this for her. If you remember, Amerlin talked about getting rid of some of her slightly older, large equipment for a guaranteed sum, and that J.M. Wood has come back and valued their equipment at and said what they could possibly receive. So this is just a contract saying that we are entering into those services with them for the sale of that equipment.
Amberlin called me today about it also, and I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. 10A is request permission to hire FC&E Engineering for the modification to the solid waste management plan, solid waste permit application for proposed expansion and evaluation of site location for proposed new Class 1 facility. Costs are in the current budget. Ashley?
Yes. This is, as you know, our landfill is, I would say, reaching capacity, but we're getting to that point where we need to have a survey, kind of see where we can expand through it. These are the professional services that will get us that survey and engineering involved in that.
Okay. Any questions?
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, number 11, request permission to approve a preliminary and final plat for case number 2980 by Fred Graves LLC for Belk Boulevard Business Park located at 1654 Belk Boulevard, being further identified as PPIN 24253. Robert?
Subject property is about 1.37 acres at the southwest corner of Belk and Highway 7. It's a zoned urban quarter and was previously approved and is currently being developed with a gas station and associated convenience store with an additional commercial space on the northwest of the property. Applicants returning to request a preliminary and final plat approval for a subdivision of the parcel that would split the gas station from that yet to be built commercial building. Resultant lots would be a little bit over half acre and a little over 0.8 acres. Both lots meet frontage and width requirements, and if the buildings are constructed according to the approved site plan, those would meet the build to and setback requirements for the zoning district. Engineering provided comments in the attached staff report, and at the July Planning Commission meeting, the commission recommended approval with the conditions that are in the staff report, and staff recommends approval with the 3 conditions that are listed in the memo.
So moved with the 3 conditions listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We deleted number 12. So number 13, consider quarterly bids received for particular materials on July 11th, 2023. Brianna?
This is becoming routine. These are our quarterly bids for our water treatment and wastewater treatment chemicals and water supplies. So we recommend that you award based on the bid tab included in the packet. There was one bid that was rejected because they did not submit the bid on the required form. So it was considered non-responsive.
Motion made to accept.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Number 14, consider a request for extended work hours, short-term sidewalk and street closure on Van Buren Avenue and South 11th Street for work at the Library Bar and Grill. Brianna?
Yes, Corey Auger, on behalf of the Library Sports Bar, is requesting permission to work on a Sunday and to encroach into 11th Street. They are basically changing the surface material of the Library Sports Bar and Grill, or the sports bar, and so they're asking to encroach and to work on Sunday when there's less traffic, and then they're also asking to encroach on Van Buren on the following Monday. So the scaffolding on Van Buren is about 4 feet wide, the sidewalk is about 10 feet wide, so people can still pass provided that there's not a building code provision that would stop it. So the board's permission would be the ability to work the extra work on a Sunday, and also to just encroach into that sidewalk. They would still be subject to any requirements from planning regarding the certificate of appropriateness, and they would still be subject to any requirements from the building department regarding code for construction around pedestrians.
Okay.
I
Any
move to
questions?
approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. 14A, consider request to temporarily close one block of Buchanan Avenue between South 11th Street and South Lamar during regular working hours for the construction of a pedestrian refuge on South Lamar.
Yes, our contractor has begun work, and we've noticed as they've started, that if you're trying to pull out of Buchanan, that there's site obstructions, and so we'd like permission to close that little strip during the day while the contractor's working, and so that there's no safety issues with vehicles leaving that. So it would just be during the daytime, and that little piece is currently one way only. So that's what we're requesting, and it's going to be about a week, and we'd like permission to coordinate that with Oxford Police Department. So if we have to shift the days a little bit, we would do that.
Brian, you have any feedback on that? I'm good with it.
I'm good with it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ask that you consider executive session.
Motion made to consider executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The board will now consider an executive session.